History equals drama. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Exit Slip Explanations. Today, we're tackling one of the biggest game changers in U.S. history, the Emancipation Proclamation. Yep, that's a document where Abe Lincoln basically said, "Dear Confederacy, you're about to lose all of your free labor force. Sincerely, Honest Abe." So our first question of the day is, why didn't Lincoln free enslaved people sooner than 1863? Well, at the start of the Civil War, Lincoln's number one goal was not really to end slavery. It was actually to save the Union, keep the country together as one. If he had freed enslaved people too early, some slaveholding border states which supported the Union, like Kentucky and Maryland, might have been like, all right, we're out. So Lincoln had to play it smart. He waited until the Union had a big enough win, the Battle of Antietam, so that his announcement would look powerful and not desperate. Kind of a classic move of strategy, if you ask me. Question number 2. What was the actual impact of the proclamation itself? Well, just everything, really. It changed what the Civil War was about. Before 1863, it was mainly about keeping the U.S. together. After the proclamation, it became more of a fight for freedom. It also opened the door for African Americans to join the Union Army, and almost 200,000 did. That's like half of Yankee Stadium cheering for freedom with bayonets. Question number 3. Did Lincoln free all enslaved people? Not exactly. The Emancipation Proclamation only applied to Confederate states that were rebelling, not the border states that stayed loyal to the Union. So, technically, enslaved people in places like Kentucky weren't really freed yet. It's like telling your friend's little brother to do his homework. You have no power over him, but you're making a point. Question number 4. Why would freed people join the army? Well, simple answer is because they were ready to fight for their own freedom. And serving the army gave them pay, which they didn't get. They had a purpose, and they had some power to actually fight for their freedom at this point. Plus, imagine the pride, fighting to defeat the system that enslaved you in the first place. African American soldiers proved their courage and helped the Union win. Also, uniforms were in at that point. Question 5. What did freed people do after being released from slavery? One of the first things freed people did was search for family members who had been sold away. Many found jobs, built communities, and wanted to learn to read and write. That's where the Freedmen's Bureau stepped in, kind of like the Reconstruction version of social services with schools, jobs, and food and the like. The Bureau helped newly freed people start over. No smartphones though. Imagine trying to find your cousin with no GPS. Question 6. How did the South react to this? Well, the South was not a fan. Confederate leaders saw the Emancipation Proclamation as another reason to keep fighting. But enslaved people in the South saw it as hope. Many escaped to Union lines to claim their freedom. Basically, Lincoln dropped the 1860s version of the "You Can't Stop Me" mic. Question number 7. What happened to the freed soldiers after the war? After serving the Union Army, many soldiers continued to fight. This time for rights. They became community leaders, activists, and examples of bravery and equality. Their service wasn't just about winning battles. It was about helping America become the country it claimed to be. So remember, the Emancipation Proclamation didn't end slavery overnight, but it did light the spark. It turned the Civil War into a fight for freedom and changed the course of history. And, well, that's your exit slip explanation for today.